guys, it's been like 2 months since I've done any sort of like vlog post, and I am so sorry. We have been so freaking busy. My goal was to do one video a week or maybe one video every other week to help you guys out with what has been working for me and what maybe hasn't. So this goes out to you, OG Sean. Thank you for giving me a nice little reminder and nudge that maybe give us a little bit of an update. So let's start off first. Some of the struggles that I've been having, it's been a very difficult journey to go on, and to feel like you're doing it alone is really, really hard. Not only is the creator journey a very lonely journey, but it's really difficult when you don't feel like you have the support and love from the people that mean the most to you. I understand that this has taken up a ton of time. I'm literally editing and doing stuff for 16, sometimes 20 hours a day. When you're creating a business, when you're starting something from scratch, it takes so much time and effort. Someone once said that it's almost like a 747. So think of a 747 being completely fueled up, ready to take off, and how heavy it is. Now, that 747 burns off like 40% of its fuel just from the time it takes off to the time it gets to cruising altitude. That's the same way with a business. You are using so much time and effort to get it off of the ground so that you can finally get to that cruising altitude, and then you can put it on autopilot, and then you're more on cruise control. Right now, we haven't even taken off yet. We're just heading to the runway and trying to take off. There's a whole road ahead of us. The journey's just begun, so we understand it's really, really hard. Many of these days I am working 16 hours a day. I am editing all day long, and trust me, I love it. I still love it. Don't worry, my passion is still there. It's exhausting, and now that we've added in some lives to it, so we do TikTok lives, that's added a whole other level of complexity and work and having to talk to people and keeping people engaged in the comments section for between an hour and 4 hours a night is a little exhausting, but it's still a ton of fun. So one of the strategies that we've changed is when we were doing this just as a hobby, I was posting one long a week on YouTube and then like 2 to 3 shorts every week on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and on YouTube. I've completely bumped up that game. So when it comes to shorts and reels, I post at least once or twice a day. And then on YouTube, I actually post 2 to 3 longs a week. I have a ton of content with Wes really pushing to get Side Piece, the truck, done. He's been working every single night and recording most of it. So I have a ton of content. So there's no lack of content, that's for sure. Another strategy that we've been doing is TikTok lives. When I was looking into lives, someone said, do TikTok lives. And the reason why you do TikTok lives is because when they push out to the audience that there's a live, not only does it go out to your followers, but it goes out to people that are in the same like demographic. If they have the same interests and whatever, they'll get notified as well. From what I understand, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, if you do a live, it's pushed out to your current followers, but there's no room for growth there. With TikTok, it's pushed out to a broader audience so that you have the possibility of gaining new followers. And so that's what we've done. We started doing that, I think, February timeframe, and we would only do them like once a week, once every 2 weeks maybe. A lot of times it would be like 5 people in there and 4 of them would be family members. So we didn't see a ton of growth there. But when we started getting more and more into the interesting things, getting into the engine build of Side Piece and then like dropping the cabin, those numbers started increasing. So when you start a TikTok live and they let all of your followers know and people know that you're live, you'll see this influx of people coming into the live, right? And that's in the first like 3 to 4 minutes. And that's when I'm always, okay, Wes, start talking about what we're doing, get people interested so that they stick around and everything. And a lot of times I'd see that rise up to like 50 people and then it would drop down, and for a while there, we had like 18 to 20 people in our lives there. It started growing a little bit more a couple weeks ago when we were doing the engine. We had our son-in-law Connor over, and it was amazing because when he was there, we saw like 50, 70, 100 people in there. As I'm recording, I've got the whiteboard behind me And I'm writing up like the biggest number that I've seen so far. So for a while there, it said 120. So there was 120 people in there watching it live. And that was super exciting for us. It's like, oh my gosh, there's 120 people. Imagine having 120 people in the room with you and you have a captive audience listening to you. We kept doing more and more lives. When it came time to drop the engine in, we ended up dropping it in at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And we had, again, 100 people in that live. And that was crazy. It was absolutely wild. We were supposed to put the cab on a Sunday. And we found that Sundays typically are the most viewership on Sundays. Wes missed that deadline. We ended up not being able to do a live on Sunday, which was good because I needed to catch up on some sleep, took a nap, and ended up going to bed early that night. So we decided to do it on a Monday, and we're just like, oh, Mondays are horrible for TikTok lives. We've never really had a lot of success with those. And so we did a TikTok live, and when it first started, it's like, okay, that first bump, there was like 200 people. And that's not uncommon for the first couple minutes, especially with our following getting larger and larger. It's like, okay, there's 200. And so I'm like telling Wes, keep going, keep going, keep going. But it never dipped back down. We stayed at like 200. So it might have dipped down just a little bit, but not much. It really started climbing and it got to 300. And after a little bit, it was 400 and then 500. And at one point, we peaked at 760 people in that live. It was a quick peak. It peaked out at that, but it was at 700 for quite a while. I would say at least 30 minutes. We were right around 700 people in this live. And it was just absolutely incredible. One thing that I've learned is to have moderators in TikTok. Now, mind you, I'd never done TikTok lives. I'm still very new to it. I don't understand all the gifts and the diamonds and levels and weekly missions and stuff. Like, I don't know anything about that. That's something that I'm trying to learn about now. But one big thing that I've learned is to have moderators. So people like OG Sean here, he's one of our moderators. And when the comments like absolutely go crazy, I try to scroll and just having Wes answer one question at a time. Sometimes he gets a little long-winded. I get way backed up in the comments. And these moderators are there to help you and to help answer those questions. And that's just been an absolute lifesaver. So yeah, strategy has changed a little bit, posting more, doing TikTok lives. That has really, really helped us. And it's really helped us build relationships with people as well. For the longest time, I'd found Instagram, and Instagram was like where all the Jeeping people were. I found our people, our off-roading community. And I kept telling Wes, I was like, where are all the diesel people? Like, where are they at? I cannot find them. And so I think I might have found the diesel community with TikTok Live. So to be determined, but it seems like that's where they're at. It's been great. We've been able to make a whole bunch of friends. We now have these inside jokes about, square bodies and all sorts of stuff, but it's been a great time. And something else with those people that we've met on TikToks is not only are they there to help us, but they also are showing that support and love to help try to build our community. So again, OG Sean, thank you so much. I'm just going to keep calling you out on this. We were trying to think of what to call these people. So when I was working at Wilson Audio, I used to call them Wilson Warriors. So these are people that were owners of the product and they loved the product, and they would go out onto like forums and they would fight the battles and defend us. They would also answer questions and all that. But we were trying to think of what's a name for this community that we are building, these mega fans, if you will. And at first I was thinking, well, it's kind of a family business, right? So I didn't want to call them family because that kind of takes away from my own family. That's special. That's just for my family. So it's like, well, why don't you shorten it down to fam? But then Sean comes up with this idea of Beaman Builders. Wes and I talked about it, and I really, really like it for two reasons. One of the things that we do on our YouTube channel and our TikTok is that he's teaching people how to build with his how-tos. He's explaining why and everything. And then he's encouraging people to just get out there and build. Even if you've never done it before, like just try it. And so it works because of that. He's encouraging people to learn how to build and to do it themselves. But then also, these people are helping build our community. So they are the builders of the Beaman Builds brand. So I absolutely love it. So Beaman Builders is what we're gonna go with. I've been trying to kind of brainstorm how to get this community together, whether it's on a Discord server where they can chat with us, they can give us pointers. If we have a video that's launching, they can give us pointers on what they liked about it, give us some good critiques and everything, because I would appreciate it. Everybody's just nice to me all the time. They're just like, oh yeah, it's a great video. Well, give me 3 things that you didn't like about it. It's kind of like an AR in military or after action review. Give me 3 things that you liked about it and 3 things that you would say that I should improve on. So that building this community and building a place where they can congregate would be huge. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Wes and I are really big into goals. We've taught our kids goals, and one thing that he has is called a BHAG, so a big, hairy, audacious goal. His BHAG was, and this was back in like February or March, that he would get side piece done by Whitley Diesel Truck Fest, which is June 28th. And back then that was like, 4 months away? You have to understand, side piece at this time, it was just a frame on our back lawn because we were working on other vehicles. So it's like, you still need to build the engine. You still need to do all the framework to get it to where it is show ready to go on the dyno and to hit 1200 horsepower. You are so far from that. And he's like, yeah, it would mean that I would have to work literally every single day after work. You have to understand, this man wakes up early, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and goes to work, commutes in an hour. He drives in an hour into Salt Lake City and then drives home an hour. So he's already exhausted after a whole day of work, comes home and he puts on his shop clothes and he goes out and he works sometimes until 3 in the morning. He is absolutely bound and determined to get it done before Whitley. So I also needed to make a goal, something that was wildly crazy. And at the time, I think we had just under 300 subscribers. My goal was at the same time to get to 1,000 followers. That's wild. I wasn't quite sure how to do it. And to me, it was just like going along with that strategy of posting more, being more consistent and all that. Like, I already was consistent, but posting more frequently. I'd heard someone say, post 100 times a day. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But I can understand how your stuff, your content is only really gonna be shown to X number of people in your fan base. So even if you are posting 2 or 3 times a day, not everybody's gonna see 2 or 3 times a day, which can be kind of annoying if you're a follower. So upping that, and then the TikToks have been great with it. So to kind of give you an update on where we are with those. So with Side Piece, we just got the cab on. We're like 35 days away from Whitley. And he says that he's on track-ish, maybe, but yeah. Okay, so to give you an update on where we're at, we started our YouTube channel August 2024. I resigned my position like officially on March 4th. So that was 79 days ago. So going from 0 to on that day, I had on March 4th, I had 268 subscribers on YouTube. It has been 78 days. And yesterday we hit 600. So we have more than doubled that in 78 days. So from August to March, we got 268. From March to now, we have gained another 332 subscribers. Now, half of those has been in the month of May alone. So that just goes to show that TikTok is really, really working. Like, all of our lives are working. All of our Beaman Builders are going to bat for us. Appreciate ya, love ya. So yeah, it's definitely working. And just to give you some updates on the other things too, Instagram, I started with 513 followers in March. We now have over 1,500. Facebook, I don't really track that much, but we started with 157 and we're at 212, so it's grown 35%. TikTok, it was at just over 1,200 and we are now at almost 3,600. So that's almost doubled or tripled, almost tripled in 78 days. So there's your updates. I feel like that those are really good numbers. I feel like that those are starting to be more exponential. A lot of YouTubers will say that once you hit 1,000 subscribers, that it's a lot easier, but it's that grind to get to that first 1,000 subscribers. So that's why that was my goal. That's why I chose 1,000, because I've heard after that, it's a lot easier. So just gonna keep grinding away and gonna try to get that number. So that's a big win for us there. So we're really excited. As you guys know, I try to learn something new every single day. I've been watching this guy named Dan Martell now for a couple weeks. He's incredible on YouTube and I love the way he thinks. He talks about becoming obsessed. Like, I've learned that I am obsessed with this. Like, I used to think that I loved it. No, I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with learning how to become better. I'm obsessed with learning the process, learning new strategies, trying those strategies. It's kind of like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. It's been fun to see what sticks and then to double down on those things. So Dan Martell talks about how people like Mr. Beast, like Elon Musk, who they've become and grown so successful, and it's because they are obsessed. I guess Mr. Beast, he was in high school obsessed with YouTube, and back in those days it was only the weird people that did YouTube, and he didn't really like to talk about it, so he's always really quiet about it. But he was absolutely obsessed and wanted to do something with YouTube. And every day he talks about when he wakes up, he thinks about it from the time he wakes up till the time he goes to bed. And he's thinking of new strategies, new ideas, trying new things and doing new things. I think that people who are driven and those people that are successful, they are obsessed. I don't think that being obsessed with something is a bad thing. You just need to also learn how to schedule in other things. So that's something that I've actually told my kids, that it's like, you know what? Yes, I have become obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with the success of Beaman Builds. Like, I am going to will this thing into existence. I believe that Beaman Builds is gonna go somewhere. Mark my words. I don't know if it's this year, next year, 5 years from now, Beaman Builds will be known. And the way that happens is you believe it's gonna happen and you become obsessed with it happening. Problem is that you get almost so focused in on it that you forget about the other things that are important, like your family. And so I've told all of my kids, look, I am doing this and I'm not forgetting about you guys. Let's schedule time. There's nothing wrong with saying, look, every single week on Friday nights or Saturday nights from this time to this time, this is our family time. Nothing wrong with that. So we're gonna give that a shot, see how that works. I've thrown it out to the kids to see what they want to help with. I've loved it so far. Sharice, she was the one that designed our logo. Christiana, she actually painted Westacon, which is amazing. It looks a million times better because she painted it. This was like a year ago or so. She actually was giving me some feedback on some of the swag that we had purchased. We're looking into doing an online store. So my daughter Brooklyn, she's been helping me with purchasing and stuff. So we've got some more hats on the way, some more shirts on the way. We got some water bottles to give away at Whitley Diesel Truck Fest. We even got stickers. So we're looking at like doing an online store. And so she's been a part of that. I want the kids to be part of this so that they feel like they're a part of something that is growing, something bigger than just themselves. So we'll see how that goes. I'll give you an update on that. But I think that's all I've got for you this week. Maybe was a lengthy one. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna cut out, but another thing that I wanted to talk about was some of the apps and stuff that I'm using. One in particular, something that I'm using right now. It's called Descript. I am not sponsored by anybody, so this is not me sponsoring them. I've just found that it's a really cool application to use. So I use Adobe Premiere Pro, I use CapCut, I use all these other editing tools. Descript, you can, like what I'm doing right now, I'm recording this. When I'm done, it is going to transcribe the entire thing. And then instead of being able to edit it through the timeline, you actually can think of a Word document. So you can highlight areas and you can cut them all out, and that cuts that portion out of the video for you. So if there's a lot of ums and pauses and second takes and all that kind of stuff, you can just take it right out. So really cool app to look into if you're doing like vlog style stuff, you're doing talking head stuff, anything that you're doing to where you need a transcript and you want to be able to edit that transcript, Descript might be for you. So I've used it, loved it, still learning it. So far it's been great. So just thought I'd give you guys that little tidbit of information. That's all I've got for you guys today. Please, if you learned anything, if you've enjoyed this, if I've entertained you, whatever, feel free to hit that like and subscribe. Give me a comment. Give me some ideas of what you've been doing, what's worked for you, and what you liked about this, what you would like to see more of. Tell me one of your wins for this week. Did anything work for you when it comes to content creation? Or I don't know, just tell me what you're doing for the weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend this weekend. Let me know what you're doing. So anyways, look forward to hearing from you, and until next time, have fun creating.